You didn't meet them by accident begins like this. Listen closely, because if you are here right now, reading or hearing these words, something inside you already knows the truth. Some connections are not random. Some names don't cross your path by chance. Some eyes don't meet yours accidentally. And some people enter your life carrying a weight that logic cannot explain. You may have told yourself it was coincidence, timing, luck, or curiosity, but deep down you felt it, the pull, the recognition, the strange familiarity that made your heart beat faster and quieter at the same time. This is the day you stop lying to yourself and start understanding why they appeared when they did. Because life is not careless with its introductions. The universe does not waste energy, and your soul does not wander blindly. Every meaningful meeting is arranged long before the first hello, long before the first message, long before the moment your eyes locked and something shifted inside you. Think about it. Out of billions of people on this planet, infinite possible paths, countless choices every single day, you somehow crossed paths with them. At that exact moment, in that exact season of your life, when you were becoming someone new, or breaking into pieces, or silently praying for change. That timing alone is a message. You didn't meet them too early, and you didn't meet them too late. You met them when you were ready to feel something awaken, even if you didn't understand it yet, even if it scared you. Even if it disrupted the comfortable story you had been telling yourself about who you are and what you deserve. Some people come as mirrors, not to stay forever, but to show you who you are when you're not pretending, when you're not performing, when you're not hiding. They reflect your unhealed wounds and your unrealized strength at the same time, and that is why the connection feels intense, confusing, electric, and impossible to ignore. It's not about romance alone, not about attraction alone. It's about recognition. It's about your soul saying, I know this energy. I remember this lesson. I remember this feeling. And maybe you tried to resist it. Maybe you told yourself it was too much, too fast, too complicated. But meaningful connections are rarely convenient. They don't arrive when your life is neat and perfectly planned. They arrive when you're in motion, when you're searching, when you're shedding an old skin, because they are part of the transformation. You didn't meet them by accident because they activated something dormant inside you, a courage you forgot you had, a vulnerability you locked away, a truth you were avoiding. Notice how they made you feel more alive, more seen, or painfully honest with yourself. Notice how after meeting them, your inner world changed, even if your outer world stayed the same. That is not coincidence, that is impact. And impact is purpose. Some connections are meant to stay, others are meant to shake you and leave, but both are sacred, both are intentional, both serve your growth. And sometimes the hardest truth to accept is that not every meaningful person is meant to walk with you forever. Some are meant to walk you back to yourself, to remind you of your worth, your depth, your capacity to love, and then step aside once the lesson is complete. And that doesn't make the connection any less real. It makes it powerful, because real doesn't always mean permanent. Real means it changed you. Real means you cannot go back to who you were before you met them. Ask yourself honestly, who were you before them, and who are you now? What did they awaken in you? What did they challenge? What did they reveal? Growth often arrives disguised as disruption, and the universe often sends people instead of answers. You didn't meet them by accident because your soul needed that experience to evolve. Even the pain, even the longing, even the unanswered questions, especially those, because they force you inward, they force you to listen, to reflect, to mature, and to choose yourself at a deeper level. Some people are catalysts. They ignite a fire and don't stay to watch it burn, but without them, the flame would never exist. And maybe you're still holding on, replaying moments, words, glances, wondering what it all meant, wondering if it was supposed to become more. But meaning isn't always found in outcome. Sometimes meaning lives in the shift, in the awareness, in the quiet realization that you are capable of feeling this deeply, loving this strongly, hoping this bravely, and that alone changes the trajectory of your life. You don't meet people like this often, and when you do, they rearrange something inside you permanently. They raise your standards, deepen your understanding, and refine your intuition. After them, you no longer settle the same way. You no longer ignore red flags the same way. You no longer silence your inner voice the same way. That is not an accident. That is refinement. That is preparation. And maybe this connection wasn't meant to be the destination. Maybe it was meant to be the doorway, the turning point, the moment your soul said, "This is the direction now." And if you're honest, you can feel it. You can sense that meeting them was part of a larger story unfolding in your life, one that is still being written, one that requires patience, trust, and self-respect. You didn't meet them by accident, because nothing that teaches you this much ever is. Even the connections that end leave fingerprints on your spirit, and those fingerprints guide you forward, shaping who you become and what you allow. So instead of asking why it didn't last or what went wrong, ask what it gave you, what it woke up, what it healed or exposed. Gratitude doesn't mean you weren't hurt. It means you understand the purpose of the experience. And the moment you understand that, you release resistance. You stop chasing what was, and you open yourself to what's next. Because when the universe removes someone, it's often making space. Space for a connection that meets you at the level you've grown to. Space for a love that doesn't confuse you. Space for peace, alignment, and reciprocity. But you couldn't receive that without first experiencing this, without first learning discernment, boundaries, and self-trust. So no, you didn't meet them by accident. You met them because your soul needed that chapter, and now it's asking you to turn the page, not with bitterness, not with regret, but with wisdom, strength, and an open heart. Carry the lesson, not the weight. Honor the connection, but honor yourself more, and trust that every meaningful meeting is guiding you closer to the life and love that are truly meant for you. Because when the time is right, you won't question the connection. You won't feel confused or anxious or unsure. It will feel calm, clear, and mutual. And when that happens, you'll look back at this moment, at this person, and you'll finally understand they were never an accident. They were preparation.